I took the Billy cool back and I hopped in the car. I put the bitch in front of the Billy in front of the driver. And man, sit there in the road, wow. I stepped up, ties, huh? I'm in the coupe by myself. I had to kick her though when I was 5. Keep the hood was on the shelf. I'm sick and tired of me. Act like they find it, telling me. Cartier, spec Buffalo on the side. Pussy cut diamonds, they Cartier, yeah. Cartier bad for the Cartier. Sky ring look cool with 200 a dash. Cartier jeans ain't no way.
Football on the horizon here at Kansas City's Arrowhead Stadium. Coming up, what a game, a rematch of Super Bowl 59 as the Chiefs welcoming the team who beat them for it all, the Philadelphia Eagles. Teams here who began the year with wins. Let's see who can make it 2-0 as off we go in week 2. Returning it from the 4. And he gets across the 30 before he's brought down. So their offense out now to get this game started. It's 1st and 10. Mahomes starting off with a throw. That's to his back, Nick Chubb. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. Well, you love when you can go from first down to first down block. Makes things easy for an offense, and it is the primary reason that he gets looks that he does.
Every touch he gets has a solid chance of working out just like that. It's why many of these first quarter looks have his name all over them.
Yellow.
They run it from the gun with Chubb. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that first down play.
These big D tackles in this league, they love weaponizing their size right in the middle of the field. It is so hard to clear lane against them. And once he got his paw on him, it was dead on arrival.
First down run netted him nothing. Here is 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Hunt. It's a nice chunk, looks like about 5. It's going to be 3rd down.
You gain that kind of yardage in the run game, and you're going to gain the trust of your offensive coordinator. Plays like that, runs like that, set the table for everything else in the playbook.
3rd and short, here's Mahomes. Got a man, and Kelsey has it. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
You know, Kate, they say a dog is a man's best friend. Tight end that moves the chains on 3rd down, that's a QB's best friend.
1st and 10, it's Mahomes. Pass is cut at the 9. And he's going to get this down to the 9. That puts him in goal to go.
You know what I like about that, Kate? I like that they're not coming out slow. They're willing to go with some looks here that will yield big yardage down the field instead of just settling for dinking and dunking the ball.
Working inside the red zone. And that's a Kansas City touchdown. The Chiefs take a 6-0 lead on their opening drive. Travis Kelce, the touchdown. Now Harrison Butker for the point after. Got a good play at the rain there. The extra point flies through. And the Chiefs will jump out to a 7-0 lead. Butker on now to kick this one away. Set to return it. Here's Will Shipley. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25-yard line. Getting a pistol formation here first as they come to the line.
No touchdown. Not anyone. No touchdown.
They run it with Saquon Barkley. Dropped by the first guy he met. No gain on that first down run.
I don't think that's the amount that they were looking for there, Kate. Going to lead to some shuffling around here in the playbook. Find a more aggressive call on second.
Last run only gained a yard. That means it's 2nd and 9.
Great, set. 180. No touchdown.
Here's another carry for Barkley. He's taken down, but not before he gets this one at the 41. He picks up 15 on the play. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
You want to drain some of the excitement, some of the noise from a home stadium? It's exactly how you do it when you go on the road. Run it right down their throat from the jump.
First and 10 from the 41.
Great, set. 180. No touchdown.
They go to Barkley again. And he'll stay upright through this rain, but not through that hit as he's tackled after about a 1-yard gain. 2 on the pickup there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8.
Hey, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
This is Brown, and he's got it downfield. 16 yards on the play, and that's good for an Eagles first down. And that right there is about the best you could hope for against double coverage. Good chunky yards, and more importantly, Brock, you don't get burned taking a risk.
Yeah, it's really the defense that gets burned, and that is just demoralizing. You got double coverage, you got what you want, and 2 guys can't stop one.
First and 10 from the 41.
No touchdown. 180. No touchdown.
Hurts gets it out wide, complete. And he'll be brought down at about the 29. It's a gain of 12 there. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
Sure seems like he knew exactly what he wanted, and he got it, going right where he wanted to with the ball off the snap.
Opening script working gangbusters so far. First and 10 now at the 29. He's got Smith again. And he stopped just before he reaches the red zone at the 21.
Hey, you like these results on first. That completion right there, right in the window where all options are now available to you on second down. That playbook wide open.
Completed left side to Smith. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
You know, it sure seems like he knew exactly where he was going with that before the snap. That's a pre-snap decision that led to a post-snap first down.
63.
Zone read give here to Barkley. He breaks the tackle. And it's another first down on this drive. Man, this time they're into first and goal.
Philadelphia.
And we will not get another play. That's going to do it for the first quarter. 7-0 is our score. Back to Arrowhead in just a moment. We're back and excited to start the second. Eagles in a nice spot to put up points.
Great, set. Hey, let's go. Trimmer. Let's go.
Barkley is in. Touchdown, Philadelphia. The Eagles finish off their opening drive. Saquon Barkley, the touchdown. Now Jake Elliott on to attempt the extra point. Extra point sent in through the rain. And the Eagles respond with 7 of their own to tie it here early.
Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
So we've got a tie ball game now as they send this away. Here's Smith on the return. He stopped on the run back at the 27.
The Chiefs take over first and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Now Kansas City looks settled in and ready. Here we go. First and 10.
Yellow.
They begin the drive with Chubb. And he's going to be brought down here at the 42. Big gain, 14 on the play. And the Chiefs are going to have a first down.
Simply put, kid, that is a drive starter extraordinaire.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
They'll head up first and 10 from the 42. Again, it's Chubb. And he'll stay upright through this rain, but not through that hit as he's tackled that for about a 1-yard gain. Just a gain of 1, and that brings up second and 9.
Brings up second and 9.
To the air, Mahomes. Dumps it off to his running back. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down.
Got to be a pretty good actor. Got to be pretty good at selling to that defense. That's a drop back pass. When you get a big play on the screen like that, boy, it's choreography by everybody on that offense.
Mahomes on first and 10. Completed over the middle. And he gets leveled just before he reaches the marker, and that hit prevents a first down.
I feel so bad. I really do. And I don't mean this sarcastically. I feel bad for these guys in coverage. I don't know how you defend some of these players today because they get that drag route, they get one step inside of you. Well, there's very little you can do other than make the tackle.
And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
That's a run that you'll take the result in the NFL every time. A nice play, a solid gain, but it's also a run that you know, and you may come back to, because if you were that close to breaking off an explosive one, you really break the backs of a defense.
A new set of downs awaits him. Here's first and 10. Pistol now for Mahomes. Complete to Chubb. And they get him right at the line of scrimmage. Offense in the hurry up here.
Brings up second and 9.
Here's Chubb on second down. He hits the lane for about 7. That's going to bring up third down.
Some backs are easier to tackle than others. Some, well, they just choose violence. They look for those opportunities to bust through tackles and keep those legs pumping.
Third and 2, Mahomes to throw. The Eagles swarm in and take him down. And this defense makes the stop in a big way to bring up fourth down.
I know we talk about rhythm a lot when it comes to music, but it's the same thing with the quarterback and his protection. This QB was in rhythm, but they knocked the notes out of him on that one.
Butker knocks it through. And that's going to break our tie and give him a 3-point advantage.
Well, I know once that drive stalls out, that's where it really pays to have that reliable kicker on the sideline ready to bail you out. And he knocks that one right through to give him the lead.
Butker on now to kick this one away. Shipley now to return. Only manages to get this back to the 20 before he's taken down. Philadelphia, settled and ready. It's 1st and 10. Starting on the ground here with Barkley. He'll stay upright through this lane, but not through that hit. He's tackled after about a 1-yard gain. Only 2 yards, and it brings up 2nd and 8.
That's the kind of yardage it's not going to kill this drive on the first play, but it does put you a little bit behind schedule. Now 2nd down becomes critical because nobody wants a 3 and out.
Need a better result than that last run. It's 2nd and 8. From the pistol, Hurts. Has him on the quick hitter. And he's going to have this up near the 40, just a little bit short of it. Getting 18 yards on that play, Brock, and it gets him a 1st down.
1st down, Eagles.
Straight ahead, here's Barkley. And he manages to find a little traction on that search field as he fights forward for a couple. He gets a couple on 1st, and they'll come up 2nd and 8.
It'll be this group's job watching the film to find all these plays. The ones on the mountains are really very little statistically and identify what was needed to just make them a little bigger, stretch them further. Afterthought plays now, they could be the big gains of next week.
From the 41. Escapes the pocket. He's keeping it. And he'll get this up to his own 44. J.D. Hicks there on the tackle. Eagles hustling everyone back to the line.
A 3-yard gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down.
Hurts with it on 3rd and short. Just got it away before the hit, but it doesn't matter. It's incomplete. 4th down coming up.
The numbers tell us pretty clearly, you get to 3rd and long, extra long, it's really hard to stay on the field. That's disappointing because that was 3rd and manageable and an incomplete.
And he drives this into the pouring rain. And this one did hit at the 8, but took a big bounce and finished its journey in the end zone for a touchback. All right, working from the gun to start. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap. It's a give to Hunt. And they will finally catch up to him just a second before he can reach that 40. Offense up to the line pass. Throwing out 1st down. Mahomes. Short pass brought in. And they'll stop him here, but not before he gets out to the 47-yard line. The Chiefs signal for a timeout. That's going to be their 1st. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime.
You want to become a quarterback's best friend, do that. Turn a short little gain, a short little pass into some yards after catch, and that quarterback will find you again.
Left side, it's caught by Rice. And they get this down roughly to the 34-yard line. Those are the hurry-up offense here.
That's another Kansas City Chiefs.
43.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Brought in close to the 8. It's a 26-yard pickup there. And that gives them 1st and goal.
That's another Kansas City Chiefs. First down.
From the red zone now. And he's able to get it to the 2 before the stop. Now a timeout taken by the offense, and we're going to see if they try for 2 plays here or just try the field goal right now.
He's just one of those guys, Kate. Even when he's not open, he's still a target thanks to that physicality and his ability to just play bully ball. They don't like forcing into coverage, but sometimes when you got a bully like him that can create space, you just find a way to get him the ball.
The shot to the end zone is incomplete.
That's going to be a play tomorrow. When they watch it on tape, they're going to be kicking themselves a bit. Kate, you get man-to-man coverage down in the red zone, you got to take advantage of it. It's hard. Zone coverage and the windows are so tight. You get man, got to find a way to win.
Hero 15. 15. Hold on these two. Hold on these two.
Throwing here just before halftime. And he's in for the Kansas City touchdown. The Chiefs will add to their lead at the end of the half. Xavier Worthy, the touchdown. Butker to try the point after. Bad weather doesn't affect that extra point. It's good. And the Chiefs make it a 10-point ball game. So we'll see if it's a kick return that ends our half, or if we get a play from scrimmage, as this one's away. Shipley now to return. He's hauled down on what is the final play of our first half. So that's the halfway point of this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Brock and I will be back right after this. Butker on now to kick this one away. Shipley now to return. Decent run back is going to end as they bring him down inside the 30. All right, starting in the pistol this time, Brock. 1st and 10. Third quarter is going to start with a run by Barkley. No one around. He's got space. He does it. Touchdown, Philadelphia. The Eagles cut into the lead coming out of halftime. Saquon Barkley, the touchdown.
You saw me chuckling. You know I love celebrating that run, but you know what I really love? I really love watching those linemen. And they just get to celebrate. They love an explosive play like that. Doesn't mean a long extended drive, just a whole bunch of celebration.
Always set up and it's away. Just a 3-point game now. Return starts from the goal line. And not liking what it looked like ahead of him there, Brock. So he's going to take a knee, and this is going to come out to the 35-yard line. All right, the Chiefs in good field position here as they start out 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, here's Mahomes. He'll dump this one off to his running back, complete. And he is hauled down right at that midfield stripe. The end result there, 15 yards and a first. Only one play in, Brock, and this drive already to midfield. Here's Chubb up the middle. And he's not going to manage to get back to the line even. Tackled for a loss. We've got 2nd and 11.
I know from the position of the quarterback, Kate, sometimes you hand that ball, you put it in the belly of the running back, and you send him right into the teeth of a buzzsaw. You can feel it from the jump, and that call from the defense, well, it came at the perfect time.
Lays out left side and gets it.
That is all-out effort, Kate, to make the catch. Putting his body on the line, diving for the ball. He earned that reception. And some more targets are clearly coming his way in the future.
Battle coming up on 3rd and inches.
43!
This finds its targets. That's Royals. He gets loose down the right side. And he's in for the Kansas City touchdown. The Chiefs making a 9-point advantage. Extra point by Butker is up and good. And the Chiefs make it a 10-point ball game. Butker on now to kick this one away. Shipley now to return. And he gets it up beyond the 20, but boy, did they plant him a few inches into the ground at the end of that run. First look, a little pistol formation as they come to the line. 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Here's Hurts. Forced out to his right. He's running with it. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. Moving quickly, trying to get set again.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. Well, even a great game is going to have its lesser moments. You can't get anything out of that carry. Stop for no gain.
Job one of so many D tackles in this league is eat up space. Don't get moved off your spot. But the difference makers, they just not only eat the space, they eat those runners too.
Barkley gets it on 3rd down. And he's dropped just short of the marker, maybe a yard away.
He's brought down at the 31. A gain of 2 yards on the play. Brings up 4th down.
All right, looks like this is the moment. They're going to make their comeback push. They're going for it on 4th.
Hey, let's go. Trimmer.
They'll go. Hurts. And they don't get the catch they need there. Their hand was forced. Brock had to try and go for it, but they turn it over on downs. They've got 1st down from the 31.
Hey, Ridwood. Yellow. Far side.
Out of the gun, it's Mahomes. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete. That's one he knows he should have had. And it sets up 2nd down.
That drop ruins the payoff to a well-designed play. It got a man open, it beat the coverage. That's a call they can revisit in the future with hopefully a much better job finishing the catch.
Job running out of the gun. He swarms in the middle. This gets maybe a yard. And Kobe Dean in on the tackle.
A gain of 1. Brings up 3rd down and 9.
So a tough spot now. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Hopkins are moving up. They're able to drop it. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
Send everybody deep. I know he wants to wait and stretch the field and use his arm. Trouble is, you wait too long, you end up on your back.
The Chiefs looking to punt on 4th down, so on comes Matt Araiza to handle it. And he wasn't needed at all in the first half, partner. This is going to be his first punt. Only needed once last week in the win, and he matches that total here.
The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Eagles getting ready. Here comes 1st and 10. Shotgun snap for Hurts. Getting out to his left. Passing struggles, bleeding over from that last play. He's forced to get rid of this one.
That may not look like much, and on tomorrow's grade sheet, it'll just be an S for satisfactory. But that's a good decision. Know where to go with the ball, and don't put it in harm's way.
Hurts trying again on 2nd down. Finds him on the crossing route. And he is brought to a stop after he found plenty of room there to run. Working quickly here.
A gain of 29 yards. And an Eagle 1st down.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. Forces that one, and it's intercepted. And the Chiefs will take over as he records his first interception of our season.
Hey, listen, when you're throwing down the middle of the field, you have got to be crystal clear in your vision. There are so many defenders that can get into those zones. That might be a case of the QB there trying to do a little bit too much and certainly didn't see the defender who comes up with the big interception.
And he manages to find a little traction on that search field as he fights forward for a couple. 2 on the pickup there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8.
This offense is now left with some ground to make up a little bit here on 2nd down after that drive starts with a very minimal gain.
2nd and 8. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. just couldn't hang on through the contact. So now it's going to be 3rd and long. This is a guy who's used to embracing contact, Brock. Usually makes catches in spite of it, but I guess it's tough for anybody to make a play every time.
Yeah, I think these tight ends today, Kate, spend as much time in the old ice bath as just about anybody. And when you don't make that catch and you take the contact, well, that stings like the first seconds in the ice. Feet and eyes, Kate. Feet and eyes. They so often tell the story of every position on the field. When that quarterback's feet and eyes move to his secondary read, and so often it's a tight end, well, it's incumbent on that defense to fly to the ball. You want to make that tackle, force the 4th down? It took a great defensive effort to do it.
He'll go. It's Mahomes. He's got it to his running back. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
When there's heat, that blitz coming off the snap, that QB's eyes, you could see it right away. He got to his check down in a hurry. But, Kate, here's the key. Quarterback and running back have to be on the same page. The two were right there, and it netted some positive yards.
Completed to his running back. And he gets absolutely popped to end that one.
Kate, I don't know why every once in a while I'll get these little flashbacks, but a little play like that just flashes me back to the preseason, my first preseason. And one of the veteran QBs said, hey, Brock, whatever you do, just find completions. You will never go broke taking a pocket. Go get a completion. They're at a premium in this league.
2 yards on the pickup, and that leaves him with 3rd down and 3.
Brings up 3rd.
A touchdown aside in that frame as we run out of time in the 3rd quarter. It's Chiefs football trying to carry this lead across the finish line. Seventh play of the drive. Offense facing 3rd and 3.
Fire down these two. Fire down these two. Staying
on the ground here with Chubb. And the run will not work. He is stopped at the line. This is going to be 4th and short.
Give some credit to the defense on that one. We don't see him get fooled into making the wrong read very often in the RPO. That's why the RPO, in fact, is part of their game to begin with. He normally makes the right call. He didn't do it there.
Mahomes to throw for it. Flushed out of the pocket. And all their pressure gets it done. That's a sack on 4th down as they force the turnover.
Certainly looking for that nail in the coffin, the knockout punch, a touchdown, and 3-possession lead that could put this one out of reach. Hey, it's a luxury they could afford to take in that spot. Built himself up a little buffer here, Kate. It's never over until it's over.
He finds Dotson left side. And he'll be taken down, but not until he reaches that 45-yard line. That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the 1st down.
Move the chains! Gotta move them chains! Build momentum. Keep that defense on its heels.
Ball on the 45, 1st and 10.
180.
Hurts now from the gun. Put some heat on this deep ball, left side. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play. Jarred loose, incomplete.
Okay, this quarterback gets out of the pocket, genuinely a coin toss, whether he's going to keep it with his legs or put in the air. Sigh of relief there defensively as that ball falls incomplete.
It's caught. It's Saquon Barkley. And he's able to reach the 40 on that play. Offense in a hurry up here. They'll go from the gun with Barkley. And he's able to get this to the 32 before going down. Offense up to the line fast.
A gain of 7. 1st down, Eagles.
1st and 10. Here's Hurts. Completed left side to Smith. And he's tackled for no gain. It goes to the hurry-up offense here.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 31-yard line.
Here we go, 2nd and 9. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. He's looking for A.J. Brown there. And that's going to leave him with a tough 3rd and long.
A That's what I call complementary defense right there. That pressure by the group up front, that leads to the incompletion and to the benefit of that secondary.
On third down, it's Hurts. Throw right side, caught by Goddard. And they haul him down just a foot or two shy of the red zone. Moving quickly, trying to get set again.
And an Eagle first down.
And again, here's Hurts. Has him on the quick hitter. And his play reaches the 12-yard line before the stop is made. Working quickly here.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up second and yard.
It's Hurts once again. On the move, hit it right. And it's another first down on this drive. Man, this time they're into first and goal.
You know, that's one of those little mental Rolodex plays. Right before the snap, you know if the read isn't there, that option isn't there, you can use your legs to make the adjustment and go get the first down.
And he gets in. Touchdown, Philadelphia. The Eagles make it a 4-point game here in the fourth. Dallas Goedert the touchdown. And now for the point after, and crucially to bring things within a field goal. And he connects there, so now another kick from him, a field goal to tie this game in the fourth.
Eagles 21. Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
Volley set up, and it's away. Just a 3-point game now. His return starts at the 5. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down.
First and 10. At their own 28-yard line.
This will be the last play before our 2-minute warning.
Hey, yellow. Hey, rip it.
Going on first down. Mahomes. They did it. He made the interception. Picked off Reed Blankenship.
Just a bad decision, frankly. And really, as a quarterback in this moment of the game, you got to know it's not a time to take a risk. Cannot be throwing out life preservers and giving that other team, your opponent, a chance like he just did.
Eagles in a good spot here as they come up to the line, first and 10. Barkley off the pistol again. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that first down play. They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Back to throw. A bit of desperation on this deep shot. Had the window to go deep, but just couldn't make it happen. Now it's third down. He's been a frequent target throughout this game, Bronk. We've seen that coverage tighten up a little bit more on him every time the ball's thrown his way.
Well, hasn't taken him off the board completely. He's still beating them for some catches, but that heightened focus defensively does lead to moments like that one where what would normally be a catch falls incomplete.
Looking to throw it. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Couldn't connect with Dallas Goedert. So that brings up 4th and long. Working across the middle, Brock, it is tough for anybody to make plays through all that mess, even when you're the biggest and baddest pass catcher on the roster.
But as a tight end, you're going to be disappointed because that's what you're paid to do. It's one thing for those undersized receivers you talk about. It's another one for these big tight ends. You are paid to make that catch through contact, and he couldn't do it.
And he stopped as he gets this one down to the 27-yard line. Forget that it was 4th down, Brock. That is an impressive 22-yard pickup, and it gets them the first. Barkley trying this up the gut. And he's able to stay on his feet through that run, at least until the tackle stops him. He picked up close to 4.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the Chiefs' 23-yard line.
Barkley again here on 2nd. Defender gets to him right around the line. It's going to be marked as no gain. So, Brock, that means 3rd down coming up.
It's a gain of a yard. And it's third down.
To throw. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete.
Well, that took some force right there. That took some serious defensive effort to force the incompletion. You're not going to see a lot of guys ever let go of a football when they got a first down right in their midst. That force, that contact separated man from ball.
Down a score, and they're going to go for this on fourth down. Desperation time here. And he's caught. He's got Brown. And he will score and give him the lead in the final minute. Now a crucial point after to stretch the lead beyond a field goal. And it's good. So they take the lead, and the extra point buys them some breathing room. A field goal does not tie it now. Elliott's all set for the kickoff. Return starts at the 9. He's brought down just inside the 25. Starting out trips right here. 1st and 10. Here he is to throw. That could be it, folks. It's intercepted. Jahan Campbell makes the play. And the Eagles make the play that should win them this game. That last interception gave them a chance to take the lead, partner. And now their defense gets them another one, so they can start growing this advantage.
Yeah, this defense letting them know we don't want to defend a small lead. Here's the ball again. Go get us a 2-score advantage this time.
Into the victory formation they go, Brock, here on 1st down. They take a knee, and that's going to force that defense to burn a timeout if they want to save any clock here.
They could stop the clock now if they choose. In the final moments of the game, every second counts. If you're going to call a timeout, you want to be right next to that official to signal it in, just as that knee goes down.
So the Eagles will fly out of here with a road win. And they can be proud of their exploits on the road and overall so far this season as they improved to 2-0. With Brock Huard and our entire crew, I'm Kate Scott. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Eagles are winners as we say so long from Kansas City.